Daddy Pig, with me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to the Command Post Live. You know what it is. Post up and take command. I, of course, am your commander-in-chief, Louie T. The prodigal son returns home. Terry McLaurin gets his bread and rightfully deserved 3-year, $71 million extension with, get this, a $28 million signing bonus, the highest for a wide receiver in NFL history. We knew something in this deal was going to make a record, okay? Was going to set a new high for something. It wasn't going to be the AAV, okay? Terry wasn't going to be making more money than Tyreek Hill. He wasn't going to be making $30 million, a year. I didn't think he was going to sign a 5-year deal. 4 was the highest because of his age, and he wants another crack at this. 3 because Terry's going to be 27, I think in September, if I'm not mistaken. So 3 years sounds about right. Puts him right in that 30-31 range, and he gets to take another bite out of the apple, right? $71 million puts him in the $23 million range, $23.6 million, right? So it still makes him one of the highest paid wide receivers in the league. I think it puts him at like 5 or 6, right? But it's not higher than, the best of the best, the elites of the elite. And he's not supposed to be paid higher than those guys. However, he's supposed to be paid for what he deserves. And I told you he was going to get that here. I told you guys there was nothing to worry about. Nothing. Like I told you, there are certain things that I can guarantee to you. There aren't many things I guarantee because this organization doesn't allow you to feel comfortable enough to guarantee anything on a positive side, okay? There are a lot of negatives we can guarantee. But on a positive note, there aren't many times you can guarantee things. And it's not often that I do with this organization, okay? But this was one of the things I told you I can guarantee Terry's going to re-sign here. Ron Rivera was very adamant. This is a guy we want. He's already shown how he carries and conducts himself in business with players that he thinks are a part of the solution, that are foundational pieces. He tried to keep Brandon Sheriff here. He kept Jonathan Allen here, and he was going to keep Terry here. He was determined to keep Terry here. A lot of you are like, oh, Terry can't stand the off the field stuff. Terry's going to want to leave. Terry isn't looking to go anywhere, okay? Players generally don't want to leave where they are drafted unless there are some type of issues fundamentally that cannot be overcome. You feel disrespected. You don't think this organization takes winning seriously. There are a number of things that could rub you the wrong way as a player, and you want out. You don't want to be with that team. It could have been something as simple as Terry just wants to go home, like Deebo Samuel, for instance. But that was never the case for Terry. Terry has stated he wanted to be here. Terry has shown nothing but the utmost professionalism on and off the field. He's the kind of guy that teams build around, which is why they wanted him here. And for me, it was no way you're going to let one of the best receivers in football leave your team. Again, we don't have many things here in Washington. We don't have many things that we lay claim to as an organization because of the fact that we don't do a good enough job of identifying talent. We don't do a good enough job of keeping the talent that we do identify when we finally do get it right. And so guys end up like Trent Williams, end up somewhere else because we find a way to F it up. This was one of those situations, just like with Jonathan Allen and this one here, we weren't going to F this up. And Rivera, the one thing I've got to say about Rivera, and a lot of you don't like to give Rivera credit for things, but one of the things Rivera has done, he has changed the culture, believe it or not. I know there's still a lot of negative BS in the press. A lot of that is due to Daniel Snyder, and a lot of it is due to the past, but it doesn't matter. It's surrounding the black cloud that is hovering over this organization in Daniel Snyder. That said, Rivera has done his best to clean up the current situation, and he's done a great job of keeping the guys that need to be here. And he's instilled confidence in me as a fan that if a guy wants to be here, because Brandon Sheriff did not want to be here. Now, again, we put him in a position to not want to be here, okay? Had we gotten the deal done sooner, Sheriff wouldn't have been in a position of power to be able to say, I'm just going to take the franchise tag for the next 2 years and then bolt and leave for Jacksonville. He could have done the same exact thing he did, and then he could have said, hey, I really want to stay here. Can we work out a deal? But he didn't want to do that. And I don't think Washington was looking to give him a long-term deal after he didn't take the long-term deal they had offered him the year prior to his second franchise tag. That said, they weren't going to let Terry leave. They didn't let Jonathan Allen leave. They haven't let guys leave that they felt like were a part of the winning culture and the turnaround of this program since Ron Rivera's gotten here. Chase Roullier got a deal here. Okay. Charles Leno got a deal here. All right. And the list goes on with guys that may have gotten a 1 or 2 year. Logan Thomas got a deal here. Okay. And again, I can keep going down the list of guys. Cole Holcomb's going to get a deal here. Okay. I'm telling you the guys that they value with this organization, and none were higher, okay, than Terry McLaurin. None were in higher regard than Terry McLaurin. Okay. He's right there. Jonathan Allen's 1A, Terry McLaurin's 1B. They're right there side by side. Chase Young may be on the marquee as well. Carson Wentz may be on the marquee as well. They still don't know about Chase Young. They love Chase Young, but they still don't know about Chase Young. We damn sure don't know about Carson Wentz, but you know what we do know about? We know about Jonathan Allen, and we damn sure know about Terry McLaurin, okay? And if you ask me, pound for pound, the best player on this team is number 17. So they were going to pay him. There was never any doubt here. And I tried to instill that in a lot of you, but you guys, I get it. This organization has not instilled confidence that they could handle situations like this, but this was never something that I felt was going to be left to rot. This was never something that was going to allow to fester into the regular season or even into camp. Now, I'm shocked that this got done in June. Now, when things got a little intensified and they escalated when Ron tried to get this done before the last day of minicamp, I said, this, to me, this kind of puts this process in hyperdrive. That's what it kind of done. It did. Is it put this process in hyperdrive, push that needle up. Okay, remember, deadlines spur action, okay? So that deadline for Ron in his head was that last day of minicamp. So he pushed that needle up a lot further than it had gone since the conversation had started. And now they got to a point here, the end of June, everybody's on break. You don't want to carry this into July. You want to get this thing done so you can go off to California to see your family if you're Ron Rivera, mom and dad, and not have to worry about the Terry McLaurin deal. It's done. Everybody's happy. You've got these last couple of weeks before training camp. You can just exhale. As a fan, I damn sure appreciate it. I didn't appreciate the rumors of Terry going back to Indianapolis, but guess what? I wasn't fazed. Most of you weren't either, because there was no way they were trading. And Ron came out very quickly and said, we're not trading Terry McLaurin, okay? And so in my mind, so what does this mean for us? Now that Terry's back in the fold, 3 years, $71 million extension, $28 million signing bonus, highest in NFL history for a wide receiver. What does this mean? Okay. It means that the cipher is complete. I've been talking all offseason about how good of an offense this could be and how stacked we are at wide receiver if we're healthy. Okay. Curtis Samuel is a huge part of this wide receiving core. He needs to be healthy. That said, I've talked all offseason about how deep we are at the receiver position with the addition of Jahan Dotson. Now Terry, Captain Commando himself, back in the fold, okay? Number one receiver intact. Slots Jahan Dotson as your number 2 / Curtis Samuel. I think Dotson's going to establish himself as a premier number 2 wide receiver in the league. So I'm going to go ahead, speak that into existence and say Jahan Dotson's your number 2, Curtis Samuel's your number 3. And then you got De'Ami Brown, who you spent the 3rd round pick on last year, still developing. He gets to develop at the rate he's supposed to now, because he's no longer going to be relied on for big plays, and he's not going to be relied on for massive production. We don't need his production. We want his production. That's the way it's supposed to be with a 3rd round pick. Okay? That's the way it's supposed to be. You don't need their production. You want their production. You need a 1st round pick's production. We're going to get that from Jahan Dotson. We're going to get that from Terry McLaurin, okay? That's why you pay Terry, because Terry was a third-round pick, and we needed his production. It's not often that you draft a guy in the third round and he becomes the best player on your team. It's not impossible for that to happen, but that's what happened here. We turned Terry, when we first got him, he was an afterthought. We didn't know what he was going to provide. They were hiding him in that preseason. They wouldn't put him on the field. He fell on his ass, remember, had a tailbone injury. Jay wouldn't put him out there, but Jay was so confident that this guy was going to explode. He didn't want anybody to see what they were cooking up, and he unleashed him in that first game against Philadelphia back in 2019. That's not what Dyami Brown is. But what Dyami Brown could become is a very dangerous afterthought. Okay, when you've got three guys in front of him like we do, and this guy can come at you with 4.4 speed, with your fourth corner defending him, maybe even a safety if you get reckless, he could become a problem. And then you still have Cam Sims or whomever you want to fill out the rest of the receiving room with. But Cam Sims is going to be there. Dax Mill may be there. He may not be. At the end of the day, they also signed Alex Erickson. He might be our new kickoff and punt return man. So he might be filling that DeAndre Carter role. Whatever the case may be, we are loaded, and we're officially locked and stocked and loaded for bear, okay? We're armed for bear. We're ready to go. We are officially ready to fire at all opposing defenses that want to challenge the Commanders. That's what this deal does, is it officially locks this wide receiver group into place. Without Terry, you don't have a true number one. Everything's out of place. He was going to be here whether he got a deal or not. Terry wasn't going to hold out. But now this makes everything nice and calm the way that it should be. You show up to camp, you're excited. This offense has a chance to explode because we have a quarterback that can get these guys the football 55 yards down the field, something we haven't been able to say since Terry got in the league. And something else we haven't been able to say since Terry has gotten in the league is he's got help. He has help. For the first time in his career, he will be able to look across the field and not see three defenders waiting to cover him 25 yards down the field. Because he's got guys that can take that coverage away from him. And early in the season, teams are going to make those guys have to make plays, and we need those guys to step up immediately because we know what Terry's going to bring to the table. We know what Terry's going to bring to the table. And you know you're a bad boy when teams in the division start, and don't think for 1 second that the Eagles just decided they needed another corner. They needed James Bradberry. They looked at what the teams in this division, including ours, brings to the table, and they said, we've got to be able to cover on both sides because Washington has a plethora of receivers. Dallas has a plethora of receivers. They're not really worried about the Giants, but hell, maybe with their new head coach, Brian Daboll, maybe the Giants are a formidable foe offensively. We'll see. But they knew they had to be able to cover against Washington with the offensive firepower and having Carson Wentz. You can sit here and Eagles fans will try to convince you that Carson Wentz is trash and that we made a mistake, this, that, and the third. And we'll see. They could be right. But deep down inside, those same Eagles fans and their organization knows if they get good Carson, we're in effing trouble. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. This is the most talent Carson Wentz has ever been surrounded with in his career from a NFL standpoint. Can't speak to how much talent he had in college, because they weren't playing against the juggernauts, and they were the Don Dada in that level of football at North Dakota State. However, here in the NFL, he didn't have it with Philadelphia. He didn't have it with Indianapolis. This is the best group of players, skill guys, offensive line, all put together in one package that he's been around. We did a really good job this offseason, and I think Ron Rivera and company need to be applauded, all right? They need to be given credit. A lot of times, when things aren't going the way, and we've won 7 games each of the last 2 seasons. So when you're not hitting the benchmarks that fans want, they don't want to give credit. They want guys fired. They want heads rolling. But again, this was a fixer-upper when he got here. We were one of the worst teams in football, 3-13 when Ron Rivera got here. So for you to think in 2 years he's going to turn this thing around, we're going to be winning 10 games, you're out of your damn mind, especially without a real quarterback. Well, we've continued to build the roster, and there were a lot of things that needed to be done this offseason. And we may not have loved everything that they did this offseason, but the offensive line is fine without Brandon Sheriff. It's going to be fine. Trust me. We've got enough depth. We're going to be just fine on the offensive line. I feel a lot more comfortable knowing that Chase Roullier is okay and he's back at center, which means then my favorite offensive lineman can go back to the bench and wait for his number to be called, if at all called, and Wes Schweitzer. I'll feel a lot more comfortable when that takes place. However, I feel confident no matter what, and I said the same thing last year, no matter what 5 they put out on the field, I feel confident that we'll get the job done. And the silver lining in last season was the fact that a lot of guys had to play, especially at the center position. They got their feet wet, okay? And because they got their feet wet, because they had to play, we're now even better and more prepared for when catastrophe strikes, if it does strike. So now the offensive line is ready to go. You've got the tight end position still on the mend, but we got more talent at the tight end position than we had since we had Jordan Reed and Vernon Davis. We haven't had this much talent at tight end since those two were on the same roster and actually healthy and active and playing. The wide receiver position, we haven't seen this much talent at the wide receiver position in forever. Okay, I can't tell you the last time we had this type of talent. Obviously, you go back to 2012 and 2013 with Deshaun Jackson and Pierre Garçon, or excuse me, that's 2015. 2015 with Deshaun Jackson and Pierre Garçon, and those guys, but and Jamison Crowder. That's probably the last time we saw this much talent on the field at receiver for the Commanders. So Terry being back in the fold means everything. It means everything to this offense. It means everything to this team. Again, in a locker room, which is a sacred place, guys ultimately want to see the good guys win, okay? They want to see the guys that deserve it get theirs, okay? That's how this works. Every player to a man who was interviewed, who talked about Terry's situation, said, hey, Terry, go get your money. You don't say that about every single guy. You can be very coy or you can be very politically correct and say, hey, man, it's a business and, Terry's got to do what he's got to do. That's not where they left that situation at. A lot of these guys went above and beyond and say, Terry, go get your money. Okay. Dude deserves to be paid. We all knew it. They all knew it. The organization knew it. They took care of it. So Terry McLaurin back in the fold here in Washington, 3-year extension, $71 million, 28 of it is going to be dished out at signing. I told you the money Terry cared about the most was guaranteed. I told you guys that because we can sit here and talk about AAV and all that stuff. That's for the agent, okay? That's for a player's ego. If I'm Terry, I don't care that I don't make more money than, say A.J. Brown on AAV, who's making $25 million. I don't care anything about that. You know what I care about? I'm walking home with a fatter check than A.J. Brown is when I sign my name on this contract. That's what I care about. The money that I can see, the tangible money that I get to put in my bank account. That's what I care about. 76% of this deal is new money for Terry McLaurin. Again, a 3rd-round pick. He needed to get his bread. He got it. That toast is buttered, baby. And I couldn't think of a guy that deserves it more than number 17. So I'm excited for Terry. I'm excited for this opportunity now. This is out of the way. It's no longer a distraction. Really, we can go into camp distraction-free now. I mean, what else is there to talk about with this team other than Daron Payne? I don't think Daron Payne's getting paid. I could be wrong. And they knocked Terry out so they could get Daron done before the start of training camp. That could be the case. They could actually want to bring Daron Payne back, okay? I don't think that's going to take place. We'll see. I'm not 100% sure of. I can tell you, I didn't sense a organization that was over the top with his situation, his being Daron Payne, like they were preoccupied with Jonathan Allen and Terry McLaurin. I didn't sense them saying, hey, we got to get this done. I think they think Daron Payne is a really good football player. He's durable, but do we want to pay him the kind of money we just paid Jonathan Allen? Do we think he's worth that? I don't think they feel like he is right now. And again, I know me and my guy Derek B have gone back and forth on this, and I'm not looking to justify them getting rid of Daron Payne. That's not what I'm trying to do. I want him back too. But you have to look at everything. Can you afford to sign 4 guys on your defensive line? The answer is no. Now, again, you can do whatever the hell you want to do, especially being that we don't have a franchise quarterback that's going to command massive money, right? You can do whatever you want to do, but you're going to have to pay for that at some point. So you have to be smart with your money, and you can't keep everybody. Yeah, you can't keep everybody. So somebody, and again, who knows? Moving on from Daron Payne, if in fact that is what happens, could be a mistake. And Chase Young should have been the guy maybe that you moved on from. Who knows? We don't know that. We don't have a crystal ball. We can't tell. But we've seen Daron Payne here. It's going to be his 4th season, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. You had Payne in 18, 19, 20, 21. So this will be a fifth season. And I should have known that because this is the final year of his rookie contract. This will be his 5th year in the league. And he's been really good, but we haven't seen that monumental leap we're waiting for. Is this the year that we get it? We'll see. But this was the biggest domino that was left to fall for this Washington Commanders organization heading into training camp. This was the only thing anybody wanted to talk about. Now that's been put to rest. At the end of June, they got this thing done before the turn of the calendar. Bravo. Bravo, front office. That's how you do business. Don't make us sweat until the final few days before camp. Get this shit out the way. So now there's no distractions. We're drama-free on the field, okay? On the field, we're drama-free. Our head is clear. We got all the participants that we're supposed to have. We got a couple still on the mend. A couple of guys that we don't know exactly when they'll be back. Logan Thomas, Chase Roulier, Chase Young. Don't know exactly when these guys will be back, but they'll be back at some point. Don't need to rush it. But we got our guy back in the saddle, and Terry McLaurin. Feels good to keep our own here, okay? Keep our own here. If Terry can't get paid, then who can? I knew he was going to get paid. He did get paid. Now a lot of you can breathe easy. Breathe easy. Okay? A lot of y'all were panicking. Someone had told me, I bought a Terry McLaurin jersey. He better get an extension. I'm like, trust me, that jersey, you'll be able to wear it for a long time. He's not going anywhere. Happy that was able to take place, and now you can feel good about your purchase. Okay? So, in any event, I digress. Terry McLaurin officially back in Washington. For those of you just joining us, 3-year extension worth $71 million, which is $23.6 million per year, okay, which puts him in that top 5-6 range of highest paid receivers in the league. I think only Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown, and DeAndre Hopkins are north of him on that list, if I'm not mistaken. I think this puts him at number 5, I believe, AAV, okay? So I may be missing one guy in there that might push him to 6, but he's in that range. But I told you, Terry was more concerned about getting to the bag, meaning I need guarantees, okay? That's what I care about the most. And a lot of people get hung up on the AAV. That's not what you should be concerned about. That's not what the players are concerned about. They're concerned about guaranteed money. Terry got a lot of that. And Terry also got 76. So 3/4 of this deal is brand new money. Brand new money. That's what I'm talking about. So feel really good about this team. I'm feeling really good about the direction, and this makes me really excited about the upcoming season. But again, I already told you this was going to happen. So in my mind, I had already prepared for this and was already conducting business as if this had taken place already. I posed a scenario to you guys a week ago, and I said, I need you to act as if Terry has already gotten his deal because it's going to happen. So I was already going off of the notion that Terry was going to get his bread. So this is not a surprise to me. Let's get to the comment section and we'll get out of here. So let's see what we have. HTTR for life. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, that jersey's coming on the 11th, although lovely. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I like it a lot. Okay. Glad that you guys got to see this, because a number of you were like not totally sure that this was going to come to fruition. And I tried to tell you guys, don't worry. Like, there are so many things you could worry about with this team. Worry about the linebacker depth. Okay. Worry about, is Jamin Davis going to take that step we need him to take? Worry about, do we have enough depth at cornerback? Do we have enough defensive tackle depth? Worry about that. Don't worry about this. This wasn't something you should be worried about. Worry about, is Carson Wentz going to give us what we need? Didn't have to worry about this. This wasn't something that I was worried about at all whatsoever. And now neither do you have to worry about it. HTTR for life. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, I'm drinking that Kool-Aid, Lou, 12-5. Okay. So this move has sparked a lot of excitement. Obviously, bringing a guy back that deserved to get paid, that we feel like is the best player on the team. It evokes a lot of emotion from the fan base, because this is a guy that all of us, Wale was tweeting out, hey, pay that man, get that man the bag, please. Like, we all understood the value of a Terry McLaurin. And I'm glad the organization saw the same exact thing. But for me, I was already baking Terry being here on a long-term deal into my final record and into my feelings on the team going into camp. I told you this is the most excited I've been going into camp in quite some time. All the stars have been aligned. I think this is a great sign that they got this done so early, because it kind of aligns with the way that I'm feeling about this team. They've done everything right this offseason. The Carson Wentz, trade was a blessing in disguise. Here's why. I don't think I've ever said this to you guys yet, but I've been feeling this way of late. It was a blessing in disguise because it forced us to be frugal with the little bit of cash that we had left after we went out and traded for him. We had $33 million worth of cap space going into the offseason. We felt great about that. We could make a lot of moves with that money, right? But the first thing we said, everybody said to a man going into the offseason, is we need to address the quarterback position. And we said this a million times throughout the season and even into the offseason. This ain't the draft to do it. Okay, this past draft and the rest of the league spoke. One first-round pick, another quarterback didn't go into the third round. Okay, the rest of the league spoke loud and clear how they felt about the quarterback position in this draft class. So we didn't need to be a team that was thirsty enough to reach, and we would have reached for Sam Howell had we not traded for Carson Wentz. Sam Howell would have been a second-round pick, and there would have not been a Fedarian Mathis. Now, some of you are saying, well, shit, I don't give a shit about Fedarian Mathis. We didn't need him anyway. You're damn right we need Fedarian Mathis. You're damn lie if you think we don't, okay? We're hurting at defensive tackle. He was a necessary evil. So if we would have taken, think about this, we would have taken Sam Howell 3 rounds sooner than we would have had to, because we would have taken him in the second round. Best believe that. They told us this after the draft, that we had a second-round grade on Sam Howell, okay? They would have taken him in the second round. So, but that's not the reason I felt like we, dodged a bullet this offseason. I say that the Carson Wentz trade was a blessing in disguise because it forced us to not go out and spend frivolously on free agents. It forced us to just focus on the guys here. Focus on bringing back Bobby McCain. Focus on bringing back J.D. McKissick. Focus on bringing back, and maybe Tim Settle is still here. I think he wanted more snaps. I don't think it was about the money for Tim Settle. I think it was more about the opportunity to get on the field more. That's why he jettisoned us for Buffalo. But it was focusing on bringing back Charles Leno Jr., which they did at the end of last season. So that was already done. Okay. But it was focusing in on shoring up some of the areas that were a problem for us. They did that on the offensive line where it wasn't a problem, but it could have become one if we didn't address it. Moving on from a couple of guys. We didn't want to move on from Eric Flowers. We didn't want to move on from Matt Ioannidis. Those were some of the drawbacks to the trade, okay? If you want to look at the glass half full, man, it stopped us from spending frivolously in free agency, but where we may not have needed to do that. But if you want to look at glass half empty, yeah, we had to cut some dudes like Landon Collins that we probably didn't want to cut. They could sign Landon Collins back right now if they want to. I don't think they want to. Because if they wanted to, they could have moved on Landon Collins already. But I said all of that to say this. I feel really good. All the stars are aligning. Terry's got his deal. We got us a quarterback. This is the most loaded offense we've had in quite some time. Defensively, you feel like this is the year that they've got to be able to put it together with a schedule that says, hey, if you can't dominate some of these teams on your schedule, this feels more like 2020 in terms of the offenses that we'll be playing and the quarterbacks that we'll be going up against, where we might be able to put a foot in somebody's ass defensively this year, where we couldn't do that last year. We weren't putting a foot in Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Justin Herbert or, Aaron Rodgers' ass. We weren't doing that. We were just trying to fight for survival. Man, we got some quarterbacks this year where we can stick our defensive foot so far up their ass, they're coughing up shoelaces. This is the year. If Jack Del Rio wants to show he actually has a worth, this is the year that you show it. The stars are aligning, okay? I'm looking at the division and I'm like, I ain't afraid of no ghosts. I'm not afraid of Dallas. I'm not afraid of Philadelphia. Damn sure ain't afraid of the Giants. This looks like a year where, as my guy HTTR for Life just said, 12-5 is not out of bounds. I can't tell you the last time I've been able to utter those words. 12-5 always set. 12-4 in past years, 12-5 since last year, now that there's 17 games, has seemed like a mythical number to us as Washington fans. You get fans that are delusional all the time throwing out, oh, we're going 12-5 or 12-4 this year. Bullshit. Don't know where you got your math at, but I don't see 12 wins anywhere. We haven't won more than 10 games since 1991. Where are you going with 12? Who instills this confidence in you? What quarterback do you see? Can't be Case Keenum. Can't be Alex Smith. Can't be goddamn Ryan Fitzpatrick that has you thinking we're going to win 12 games. Not that schedule we got to play. Are you serious? All of that shit this year is within reach. 12-5 doesn't seem like it's a mythical figure. That shit is obtainable. I feel like I can reach out and grab 12-5. I'm not saying we will, okay? I'm not telling you we will. Because as we know, this organization creates and invents ways to fumble opportunities. That said, this is the first time we had a quarterback. Now, again, I don't know what we're going to get out of Carson Wentz. But the upside on Wentz is greater than any quarterback we've had since Robert Griffin III. The upside on Carson Wentz, greater than any quarterback we've had since Robert Griffin III. That includes Kirk Cousins. So that gives us a fighting chance with the talent that they've surrounded him with. Credit this organization again. I know a lot of you like to shit on Ron Rivera and shit on his staff, Martin Mayhew and Marty Herney and company, okay? Rob Rogers, all of these dudes. You don't want to give them credit, but you got to give them credit for what they've done. They solidified the backfield, okay? We believed in Antonio Gibson, and they still believe in Antonio Gibson. But just in case, there's nothing wrong with an insurance policy. That's what Brian Robinson is an insurance policy. And a damn good one. We missed our insurance policy last year. We got a new one and a better one in Brian Robinson. They solidified the wide receiver position because why? In this league, you're not going to win a Super Bowl if you can't score points. That's clear and obvious. Clear and obvious. And we've been one of the worst offensive teams in football the last 5 years or so. You're not going to win a Super Bowl if you can't score points. Well, now we have all of the weaponry necessary to go out and put 30 on the scoreboard. That first number can start with a 3 or a 4. Haven't been able to say that in a very long time. I'm not telling you to drink the Kool-Aid. I spiked it a long time ago. I told you that. But I also told you, if you're going to, just sip slow. Just sip slow. Nothing wrong with drinking the Kool-Aid. Don't overindulge. Friends know when to say when. Okay? I'm not telling you it's time. I'm not telling you to put the cup down yet. But I urge you, I implore you, I beg of you, don't go overboard. Just take sips. Okay? Don't rush to get drunk. Drink slow, homie. Drink slow. 12-5 is not ridiculous. A little bit higher than I think this year, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. And that, my friends, is why you should feel really good heading into training camp, because we haven't been able to say a number that big in the left-hand column associated with this team wasn't out of reach in a very long time. All right. I see somebody said, guzzling Kool-Aid by the gallon out here. That's what I'm trying to guard against, but to each its own, okay? Malachi Malik, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, Malachi Malik, writes, I'm drinking the Spike Punch, Lou, and don't you dare try to stop me, LOL. The boys are back in town. Hashtag the boys are back in town. All right, look. I've already said my piece. I've already given you my speech on why you shouldn't guzzle. But again, I've spiked the punch because you know how I feel. I think this is a big year for us. This is the year Ron has declared we need to win, and we need to win now. The actions he's shown has matched the energy that he gave us heading into the offseason. You always say, keep that same energy. He kept the energy the entire offseason. He was desperate. He showed that he was desperate. He let everybody know he was desperate, and he still went out and made shit happen. I love it. Now, it's got to come to fruition on the field. So I need to see that before I can start shoveling gallons of Kool-Aid down my throat. That's pretty much, 100% alcohol at this point. All right, it's 100 proof. But I can tell you this. We get off to that start. In the NFL, the league has set us up. They've set us up for success. They said, look, I don't know what more you want from us, bro. But I gave you Jacksonville at the crib and Detroit on the road, weeks 1 and 2. If you can't do anything with that, I can't help you. They said, and just to put a little icing on the top with a little cherry, boop, I'm going to give you Cleveland and Dallas to finish up your home schedule the final 2 weeks of the season. That's going to be the Jacoby Brissett-led Cleveland Browns. You can't do something with this schedule that I'm putting in front of you. I can't help you. This is the year, man. If this isn't the year where shit starts to turn around, it's not going to turn around with Ron Rivera. That's how I feel. And I'm not running him out of town if it doesn't turn out to be 10, 11, or 12 wins. I'm not running him out of town, but I'm going to be very disappointed. And there may be some things that happen that are beyond his control. I'm not going to say it, but you know what I'm talking about. But still, this has got to be the year. I'm not going to try to stop you. I've already said what I said. My advice is to not start shoveling down that Kool-Aid. All right. But if you're going to do it, and I'm doing it, I'm telling you that already. I'm doing it, but I'm sipping slow. Drink responsibly. Okay. Drink responsibly. Malachi Malik, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. HTTR for life. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you once again. My guy HTTR for life writes, run up those likes because I'm hyped today. Y'all know what it is. It's over 600 of y'all out there. We're still at 100 and some odd likes. So if you're out there and you haven't hit the like button, please do so and help the kid out, help this video out, help the brand out, help the channel out. Really do appreciate you, HCTR for life, reminding everybody to hit that sub button if you haven't already hit that, hit the like button if you haven't already hit that, hit the noti button if you haven't already done that, and leave a comment down in the comment section. Add to the conversation. Let's see. I had a couple of Eagles fans trolling me on socials. Every time something happened with Terry and, something came out on Bleacher Report, and then, they had the Pat McAfee stuff with the Indianapolis Colts and really drove Colts fans into a tizzy. And they're like, they're adding me every time. And I'm like, bro, you coming up the wrong chimney here. You do not want this smoke. Okay. You don't want this smoke. Because I've already told you, it ain't shit to see here. Move along. It ain't nothing to see here. Okay. Lance Eubank, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Lance writes, come on, let's go. Everybody's hype. Everybody's hype. Because they did something right for a change. It seems like there are a lot of missteps with this organization over the years. But as I said, since Ron has gotten here, there haven't been a lot of missteps. We all wanted him to keep Dunny. He got rid of Dunny. What has Dunny done other than be a stick-up kid since he left here? Okay. We all wanted to keep Trent. That's the one thing that I thought he could have handled a little bit better, was keeping Trent Williams. But do you want to pay a left tackle right now when we got a serviceable? I'm not saying that Charles Leno Jr. is the end-all be-all and that he can't get his ass whooped. There were times last year where he got beat, including the sack that hurt Ryan Fitzpatrick. He got his ass whooped on that play, right? But do you want to? Trent Williams is the highest paid left tackle in NFL history right now, over $100 million. Do you really want to give that up to a left tackle right now? You may have to do that, down the road with, say, Sam Cosmi. You might have to give Sam Cosmi some big money. But we're not in that position right now, and we're perfectly fine up front. So even that's not the worst thing in the world, but we all wanted Trent Williams back, and I'm not going to sit here and have revisionist history and act like, oh, I'm glad we didn't know. I wanted him back then. I would take him right now. But that's no here nor there. The bottom line is, haven't been a lot of missteps. I thought they shouldn't have franchise tagged Brandon Sheriff the second time, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, they've made a lot of right moves. They continue to make a lot of right moves. And you have to start giving them credit for the things that they've done. The first order of business was change the culture. You have to admit that the culture on the field, within the walls of Washington Park and at FedEx Field, even though the pipes are bursting and brown shit's coming out of it, and gates are falling off of the stadium and fans are falling on players, you got to admit, the culture is better. People outside of the building, outside of our bubble, respect this organization. And there's one man to give credit for that too. Ron Rivera. Okay. You might have people like Adam Rank still shitting on us and saying we're going to go 3-14. I love it. I welcome that. Again, I want all the smoke. I want all the smoke. But for the most part, we're respected around the league. And it's because of Ron Rivera, and it's because of moves like this, re-signing a guy like Terry McLaurin. So you should be excited, Lance. Damn right. Celebrate. We got our guy back. Thank you for the super chat, Lance Eubank. Trevor Patch, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Trevor Patch, thank you for being a member of the MOBB writes. My man, Lou, I don't know what's going on with the notifications. Thoughts on command center, slide jab at Carson, and locker room issues with be a fly or be invisible. Well, Jonathan Allen alluded to that. Like, hey, this notion that Carson Wentz is a bad teammate, he's this, he's that, that's a fabrication. And again, we saw this, okay? The best example of this, Eagles fans want to convince you that he's the same Carson Wentz that they shipped off 3 years ago. They want to convince you he's that same guy. Like people can't change and grow and develop and become better versions of themselves. Okay. They want to convince you he's the same Carson Wentz that had issues in the locker room, created cliques, didn't want to listen, didn't want to take the coaching, was insecure about his spot on the roster. They want to convince you he's the same guy. I watched Hard Knocks. I saw the reaction, and this is the thing Ron Rivera alluded to, and I told you the same thing. We talked about this on live. A lot of you brought it up. A lot of you were on it. When it happened, you said, I'm seeing a lot of tweets from former teammates that are saying, hey, wish you the best of luck. Wish you were still here. This is bullshit. Their leader and captain on that team, Darius Leonard, said, I'm sick of this shit. Every year I've been here, we have a new starting quarterback. Carson Wentz was the right man, and y'all let him walk. Hey, Carson, do your thing, bro. Do your thing. Michael Pittman Jr. said, hey, Carson, best teammate, one of the best teammates I ever had. Do your thing, bro. That doesn't sound like a guy that was divisive in a locker room, that was insecure, that wasn't building up teammates. That didn't sound like that same guy. So I told you, the media can push a narrative. And for a long time, we took what the media said as gospel because they did all of the thinking for us. But since the advent of social media, you can't pull a fast one by us anymore, okay? We don't have to listen to you. We can formulate our own opinions, okay? If Channel 4 says it, doesn't mean that it's true. If ESPN says it, doesn't mean it's true. If Fox Sports 1 says it, doesn't mean it's true anymore. So I've been willing to step up and defend Carson Wentz, even though I don't know him in a Commander's uniform. But I've been willing to step up and defend Carson Wentz because I don't think a lot of what was said, and we've seen the way the Colts have conducted themselves. They're a mess. Okay? They're a mess. So I think it's safe to say that Carson Wentz, has grown. I don't think everything that was said about him, was untrue, especially back in his Philadelphia Eagles days. And he's admitted that he's made mistakes in the past and he's grown and he's a better person because of the experiences that he's gone through, the changes in his life that have happened. He's a better man, player, teammate, father, husband because of it. I believe that. That's what life experiences do. They shape you. They mold you. They help create the person that you become ultimately. So, I love it. Want more of it. And I think that this is his addition is the reason I'm so confident. And again, I'm not even confident in him yet, but I'm confident in the upside, something that we've lacked at the position. We've tried to make guys into something that they haven't been. All of a sudden, Alex Smith is going to be this gunslinger throwing the football down the field. Why? He wasn't that in San Francisco. He damn sure wasn't that in Kansas City. Why would he turn into that now? All of a sudden, Case Keenum is supposed to do what he did for the Minnesota Vikings. Why? Since when did Case Keenum become the answer at the quarterback position? Most of us knew Dwayne Haskins wasn't the answer. And that wasn't a good situation to put him in. God rest his soul. He wasn't set up for success here. He didn't do his part either, though. And then you look and you say, okay, they got us a guy, Ryan Fitzpatrick. I told y'all we couldn't do shit with Ryan Fitzpatrick, and I said it's in the NFL bylaws. If Ryan Fitzpatrick starts a game for you, you can't make the playoffs. He started one game for us, 13 snaps, and his ass doomed our season. People trying to convince me Ryan Fitzpatrick playing the best football of his career. The man is 89 years old. You think he gonna all of a sudden start playing Super Bowl caliber football? He ain't Rich Gannon. He damn sure ain't Kurt Warner. And then I'm not gonna lie to you. I psyched myself up on Taylor Heineke. I wanted him to be successful. I wanted him to work. Ultra, 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 ultra. I wanted it to work. And after those first couple of games, New York and Atlanta, who knew? He showed his true colors, man. We know what he's about. And that's okay. Quality NFL backup. You need those on your team too. Part of that experience that I talked about guys gained last season, I'm talking about Taylor Heineke too. I'm not just talking about Keith Ishmael. I'm not just talking about Tyler Lawson. I'm talking about all of the guys that played last year, significant snaps that may have to step in the future, like Taylor Heineke. That shit benefits us. The moment won't be too big for him when he steps in the game, if he has to, at any point this upcoming season. We know what we're getting. And I like what we're getting. Thank you for the super chat, Trevor Patch. Thomas Wood, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Thomas Wood writes, we will regret this contract if Dotson balls out. No. You can never have too many good football players on your team. Okay? If Dotson balls out, guess what? This contract extension that Terry just signed is already finito, done, finished. Dotson is under contract for the next 5 seasons. If you pick up his 5th-year option, which they will, right? Which is, they didn't have that luxury with Terry, okay? Terry was a 3rd-round pick, so he only had 4 years. There was no 5th-year option. You don't want him going into that 4th year of his contract, the 4th and final year of his contract, so you had to do something now. You don't have to do anything with Jahan Dotson for 5 years. Really, 4 is the magic number. Terry signed a 3-year extension. So this deal doesn't impact Jahan Dotson at all whatsoever, and it doesn't impact how you feel about Jahan if he starts to, oh, we made a mistake. No. You know what would be really great? If Terry ends up being, if Terry continues to be what we know he is, and Jahan turns into that as well. And now we got 2 of them. You know what's better than 1 baller? 2 ballers. Okay? So I'm not tripping, and neither should you. Let's see. Got another super chat here from Kevin the PRF. Thank you for the super chat, Kevin the PRF. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes from Lance Eubanks, super chat above. God is good. Come on, let's go. Okay, I got the come on, let's go. I didn't get the God is good part, but absolutely all the time. But again, we knew this was going to take place, so I was never tripping, and neither should any of you have been tripping. So love it, want more of it. Lance Eubank, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, Lance. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, Louie, you called out of work to do this stream. I mean, this is work for me, bro. This is everything. All right. This is what I call my profession. So those days of me having to leave work early because big news broke and I got to try to get in front of my computer, those days are over. Thank God. This is work, bro. This is life. I love it. And thank you for helping be able to allow this to take place. So Lance, appreciate you, my man. JP, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, John Perez writes, Commander Lou, what's up, JP? Says, always great to see you, bro. Likewise. Says, great to see, glad to see Terry finally get paid. Money, 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 money. Money, money. Yeah, yeah. Money, money. Yeah, yeah. Let's get it. You love to see it, man. You love to see it. That's right. So I can't wait to hear from Terry. He's been staying away, doing his thing. I saw he was at an Ohio State event the other day. Can't wait to see him back in the burgundy and gold and talking about how excited he is about this opportunity and to get him back on the field with his brothers, man. I just can't wait to see the press conference, Terry, with Ron and, Marty and Martin and all of those guys and him finally getting what he deserves. When you're a 3rd-round pick, you're not making any real bread. Now this man has finally changed his family's life forever and probably generations to come as well. Happy for him. Lance Eubank, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Lance writes, scary Terry, very cherry now. You know what it is. I'm not a big fan of cherry, as you guys know, but go ahead and keep the party going, okay? You know what it is. All right. Thank you for the super chat. Lance Eubank. Got another super chat here from Big Money Sonny. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, Big Money Sonny. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, damn, Lou, I'm stuck working, but you already know we'll have the after party ready, rocking the Discord. Great news today. Wentz top 5, dead or alive. You've been singing that song. I can't co-sign. I already told you. I can't put my signature on that. But sounds good to me. And as he just mentioned, if you're a member of the MOBB, Discord up and rocking, they'll have that link in the comment section for you guys to join. Looking forward to seeing you guys there as well. Thank you for that, Big Money Sonny. Get your bread. You know how I feel about that. This will be here when you're done. Get your bread, man. While it's there to be buttered and it's hot. Out the oven, go get it. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat once again. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Big Money Sonny, who writes, Wentz 35-5 4K playoff bound, baby. If those numbers are accurate, we're winning 12 or 13 games. Big time. 35 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and 4,000 yards passing. We're winning 12 or 13 games with those types of stats. Because defensively, you don't have to be great if your quarterback is putting up numbers like that. You don't have to be great. And against the teams that we'll be playing, those numbers are going to be more than good enough to get you 12 or 13 victories. You're not losing to Chicago and Houston and Atlanta and Detroit and Jacksonville if Wentz is throwing 35 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions. And, of course, the fumble numbers need to be down as well, too. Can't overcompensate with the fumbles because you don't have interceptions. But if the turnover numbers are down, you're beating teams like that, you know. So you're beating the Giants probably twice. You're beating the Eagles at least once, if not twice. You're beating Dallas at least once, if not twice. You put up those kinds of numbers. You're going to beat Minnesota. You're going to beat, you know, maybe Green Bay or Tennessee or Indianapolis. You know, you're going to beat some of those teams. Maybe not all of them. We're not going undefeated. But you're going to beat a lot of teams with that kind of, you know, split right there. I can't co-sign that split either. That's too rich. You know, even his best season in Philadelphia, I think, was 33-6 before he got injured. 35-5 and 4K. Those are big numbers. Big numbers. I can't co-sign that, but I can tell you those numbers would be good enough to not only put you in a position to win the division, because I can't say what Philadelphia or Dallas is going to do, but it's going to put you in a position to win the division, but you're going to make the playoffs with those numbers. Facts. Big facts. 1/6 Devil Doc. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, 1/6 Devil Doc, writes, just got here, Lou. Just want to say, hell yeah. You're damn right. Hell yeah. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah. Yeah, that's right. Bat like cook crack, Terry McLaurin is back in the saddle where he belongs. And I feel really good about the energy that is being emitted from this organization on the field with the decisions that they're making right now. So feels good indeed. Let's see. We got a couple of comments here that I want to take a look at real quick. Let's see if I can find some of them. Want to acknowledge a few comments if I can. Let me see if I can find them. Carlton Pagano Jackson, been a member of the Mob Squad for 11 months now. My guy CPJ, man, really truly do appreciate you. Writes, thank God, on to training camp. Exactly. That's what this did. It cleared the deck. No more distractions. When they show up for training camp, they don't have to answer Terry McLaurin questions. Now all they have to do is prepare to get ready for week 1 versus Jacksonville. So that's what we're talking about. That's why this was so important. You didn't want to be answering questions that, you don't need to have to answer. And now they don't have to do that. So you just took a lot of that pressure off of yourself, and now you can just go out and play ball. Rasheed Bryant, stand up. You are officially the newest member of the MOBB. So glad to have you aboard. Mob, you know what to do. Show Rasheed some love. Open those arms wide. On a day like today, it shouldn't be that hard to give out love. Bless that man and show him what it's like to be a member of the squad. Rasheed, welcome to the MOBB, bro. Glad to have you. Thaddeus Gross, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, Thad Gross, writes, Terry gets paid. For those of you just joining us, haven't been here that long, Terry gets a 3-year, $71 million extension. 76% of that extension, brand new money, and $28 million upon signing puts him in rarefied air, the highest in NFL history for a wide receiver at the time of signing. Big ups to our guy, Terry McLaurin, for securing the bag. That Gross writes, Terry gets paid. Lou, you get paid. All the way drunk over here, hyped for the season. All I got to say is, why not us? I like that logic. Terry gets paid. Bless the kid. I love it. But I like what you said at the end, because that's going to be, I told you, the moniker for me this year is change the narrative. Change the narrative, okay? But something else that I'm going to be thinking in the back of my mind and I'm going to say quite often is, why not us? Okay? Why not us? Why isn't it our time this year? Everything's falling in place. We got all the pieces that we need to make a run at this thing. The NFC is as wide open as it's been in recent memory, especially with all of the big receivers, changing teams, Devontae Adams in particular. Why not us? Why not us? Okay? And you can say that different ways, and the inflection of your voice will change the way you feel. Why not us? Why not us? You see how that feels different? I went from, why not us? Like, maybe we could get lucky too. Why not us? Like, what the hell are you talking about? It better be us. But I'm with it. Thank you for the super chat. Thad Gross. Why not us? That's the real question. For so long, the question was, why us? Why is all the bad shit happening to us? Why would we win anything good? Why do we deserve anything? Why us? Now the question is, why not us? Why can't we go 12-5? Why can't we go 13-4? Why can't we talk reckless? We got a quarterback. Again, we don't know how good he's going to be, but this is the highest upside we've had in a quarterback since Robert Griffin III. Why not us? Offensive line is intact for the most part. I mean, we feel good about the pieces. I shouldn't say intact, because from guard to guard, we got 3 dudes that are funny lookings. Well, 2 funny lookings and a guy that we want back that's not, ready to come back yet, and Chase Rouillet. But I feel good about the offensive line. I've said one of the things Ron did when he first got here and has done a great job ever since is building depth on this roster. Like Chris Paul, throwaway 7th round pick, more depth on the offensive line, more life. Okay. More life. All right. HTTR for life. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, where them Eagles fans at now? Cole! Sounding like Cole. This isn't their type of energy right here. This isn't their steez. They like to show up when bad shit happens. They don't show up when stuff like this happens. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. I love it. Want more of it. All right. Let's see. Trevor Patch, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, Trev, who writes, take receipt. Cole Kelly will be starter in 3 years. Man, I hope that is the furthest from the truth. And I don't need to take that receipt. Because if that happens, then we'll remember that you said that shit. Because nobody else is saying that shit. So, we don't have to take a receipt. We can all remember Trevor said that. And guess what? This is why people do things like this. Okay? Because if you're wrong, no one's going to remember that you said this. If you're right, everybody remembers that you said it. So it's a win-win for you. Cole Kelly is not going to be the starting quarterback of this team. Ever. He'll be a hell of a camp arm this year, though. Big son of a bitch. Anyway, I digress. Rashid Bryant, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, lurked long enough, Lou. Happy to be a part of the MOBB. Let's have a season, ladies and gents. Glad to have you, Rashid, man. Glad to have you. And it's always so refreshing when you come from behind the shadows, right? And you make your presence known. I always enjoy that when someone says, hey, I've been lurking, or, my first time super chatting. And I always like to know who I'm talking to, so it's always refreshing. And yes, let's go have ourselves a season. Cheers to that. Cheers to that indeed. Let's go have ourselves a season. I'm with it if you with it. Ricky Lowry, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Rick writes, long overdue, but let's go Terry and let's go Commanders. Indeed. It's been probably a year in the making because, after his rookie season, we're like, yo, Terry looked good. After his second season, like, okay, this dude's legit. Let's get him signed up immediately. And then he did it one more time, which they didn't have to rush to pay him, right? They waited and saw it one more time, and then it was like, okay, we got to get this deal done. So long overdue indeed, but glad that it's done. And now we can move forward with our best player happy and under contract. Let's see. Got another super chat right here from Trevor Patch. My guy, Trev, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, who writes, blue raspberry on me when we sweep Dallas plus 40. Hey, y'all heard the man. Y'all heard the man. I'm scorned. I am shell-shocked. I've been impacted by Dak Prescott. For whatever reason, he seems to have like mind control over us or something. And we seem to play terrible football when we're playing against a Dak Prescott-led Dallas football team or a Dallas Cowboys football team. So that narrative has to change at some point. I change the narrative, goddammit. I've been talking about that, all offseason. Change the narrative, okay? Every time we try to talk shit about Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys, they love to bring up he's 9-1 against you guys. And my response to that is, I got nothing. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? We beat him one time in 10 tries. I got nothing. I'd love nothing more. He's due for a sweep, not just for a beat. He's due for a sweep, okay? But I just want one, man. Just give me one against his stinking ass. And I want it to be the first one at Dallas. So now we're playing with house money. But, we'll see. That's week 4. You can't skip, to week 4. You got 3 games before that will set the stage for that week 4 contest. I don't know what Dallas's schedule looks like. I don't know who they're playing in their first, 3 games of the season before we come to town in week 4. But I'd like to think that they'll be playing, pretty good football. We know Philadelphia, when we get to them, they have a chance to be 2-0. Looked at their schedule or at least the first part of it. They get Detroit in week 1. Okay, we get the leftovers from whatever they do in week 2. So they're going to be in a position that when we see them in week 3, they may be undefeated. We're hoping to be the same. Same thing with Dallas. They could be undefeated. I'm looking to be undefeated when we see them as well. So, y'all heard the man. If we sweep Dallas, blue raspberry on him. We'll make it happen. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my guy. Big Money Sonny writes, Lou, Sonny, I'm telling you, Wentz is top 5 dead or alive. You've said that multiple times. I already told you I cannot put my John Hancock on that. Okay, I'm sorry. I cannot co-sign. However, I hope you're right. I hope it's 35-5 and 4K. I hope that's the split for the season. But I can't do that. I can do a lot of things. I can't co-sign that. But hey, duly noted. Okay, duly noted. As my guy Malachi Malik just said, duly noted. Alex, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Alex writes, the thing about Wentz is there was guys in the Eagles locker room who liked him, but also some that didn't. Congrats on the Terry contract, though, fam. And that's facts. Remember, we talked about this. I had a whole podcast episode about that article that was in, I want to say it was in like the Philadelphia Inquirer or something. It was some, smaller magazine or newspaper outlet, and everybody kind of dismissed the article. But that article pretty much said that there were guys in that locker room like Zachary Ertz and, Jordan Matthews, who absolutely loved Carson Wentz. They were his best friends. And then there were other guys in the locker room that couldn't stand him. Couldn't stand him. Thought he was a brat, thought he was immature, thought he was spoiled, this, that, and the third. And I don't think any of that is wrong. I'm just telling you, I think he's a different dude now. That's all I'm telling you. I think you're spot on with that. And I think a lot of those things were true. And Carson Wentz said there were a lot of things that went wrong in Philadelphia. And some of it I was responsible for. But I also did read as well, and I don't know how true this is, but I also did read that Howie Roseman tried to make him go back in the playoff game with a concussion, and he was thrown up in the locker room, and he was cursing obscenities at him and his wife. Like, that's not a conducive environment for winning football. So I think it was ugly on both parts, from the organization and Carson Wentz. I don't think anyone is blameless in that situation, but you've moved on. You like your situation. He's moved on, and I think he's in arguably the best situation he's been in his career. So we'll see. We'll see if it works out for all parties involved, or if it just works out for us, which I would prefer. But we'll see. Thank you for the super chat, Alex. As always, greatly appreciate you. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat once again, my guy. Big Money Sonny writes, it's like Mega and I are the only believers that want to rock with Wentz. Enough is enough. Let's effing go. 35-5, 4K is the split once again. Playoff bound, and shh to the naysayers and take a little cherry on the top. Look, so this is what I have to dispel this notion that you're putting out here into the atmosphere that we don't believe in Wentz. What we're not doing is we're not putting all of our eggs in the Wentz basket. Now, you're free to do that. Okay? You're free to do that. We have seen enough football. We have watched Carson Wentz enough, and we know how things go when guys come here. So armed with all of that knowledge, we are taking a measured and calculated and reserved approach. That's all. If we've got 10 eggs, we're putting 5 in the Carson Wentz basket right now. Because we know we may have to save the other 5 for Taylor Heinicke. And, or 3 for Heinicke and 2 for Sam Howell. We just want to make sure that Carson Wentz is worthy of all 10 of the eggs. You can take all 10 of your eggs, put them in the Carson Wentz basket, and double down and say, I know this guy is going to be legit. He's going to be great for us. Some of us have had traumatic experiences when it comes to this team and this organization. And thus, we want to be sure before we put all of our eggs, because once you put your eggs in the basket, you can't get them shits back. Okay? So I just want to make sure that I'm not putting all of my eggs in the Carson Wentz basket, and then I'm left with nothing but egg on my face. See what I did there? You go right ahead. You and Mega, go right ahead. Okay? I'm not telling you you're wrong. I'm just telling you I can't join you. That's all. Okay? You're not wrong. I just can't join you. Okay? That's all it is. All right? Go have a good time. My mom said I can't go. Doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong or you're not going to have fun. My mom just told me I can't go. Go have a good time. All right? I believe in Carson Wentz, but to a degree. I have to be sold that he is the guy long term. I know he's the right guy for the job now, but is he the right man for the job 3, 5, 7 years from now? Only time will tell. But if he's not the right guy for the job this year, after this season, if we're not having a conversation that revolves around Carson Wentz being here long term, then you put your eggs in the wrong basket. And I need to see before I put all my eggs in the basket. I'm putting half of my eggs in the basket, though. I feel really good about Carson Wentz, but not great to the point where I'm winning. But I'm telling you this, everything's lined up. This is a great system for him, fits his skill set. He's the most talented quarterback we've had since Robert Griffin III. Everything is aligned. Everything is aligned. And I feel good about what he's going to bring to the table. But I still need to see it. Thank you, Big Money Sonny. Pizzly Pants, thank you for becoming the newest member. Stand up, man. You know what it is. Pizzly Pants, stand up. You are officially the newest member of the MOBB. So glad to have you aboard, fam. Y'all know what to do. Mob, show Pizzly Pants some love. Open your arms wide. I don't know if his pants are clean or not. I don't care. Show him love and make him feel warm and welcome. Like the piz that might be coming and emanating from his pants. Make him feel warm and welcome. Welcome to the squad. Pizzly Pants. Look forward to chopping it up with you. Greatly appreciate you. Lorenzo Simpson, my guy Zoe. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat who writes 10-11 wins. I'm drinking like Stone Cold. He's chugging it. He's chugging it. Right? 10 or 11 dubs. I'm with it. That's right around where I'm at right now. It's 10 or 11 of them things. Anything north of 11, we had ourselves a season. We got to get there, though. And the start to the season is going to go a long way in determining how the rest of the season is going to go. Again, you can't waste opportunities. And again, they're saying the same thing about us. If Jacksonville's going to have a season, they got to beat Washington. If Detroit's going to have themselves a season, they got to beat teams like Washington. They're saying the same exact thing in those locales about us that we're saying about them. Okay? And they should be saying that. Doesn't make me feel any different about how I feel. If you're looking to have a season, you need to take advantage of the Jacksonvilles, of the Detroits, of the Houstons, of the Chicagos, of the Atlantas of the world. You have to win those games. If Cleveland is playing with Jacoby Brissett, they got to get their asses whooped. End of story. You can't pass up on those opportunities. All right? When they're handing out free money, you got to take it. You can't, oh, no, you shouldn't have. You take it. You need it more than me. If you're giving away free money, if you're giving away dubs, you ain't trying to win 10, 11 games. So we'll find out very early in the season how serious we are about crossing that 10-win threshold. something we haven't done since 2012. And exceeding that, something we haven't done since 1991. So yet again, another member guzzling the drink in Lorenzo Simpson. Bloodshot Sports, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Bloodshot Sports writes, what up, Lou? What up, Bloodshot? I'm drinking my Kool-Aid fast because I can't remember the last time we had a roster like this. I don't want to say 91, but we've had really good rosters in the past. Like, I'm still, you know, it's funny that I'm saying this because for years, since Rivera's gotten here, so the last 2 years now, going into the third season, it's been all about the defense. Well, we can hang our hat on the defensive side of the football. Don't really know about the offense. If the offense could just catch up to the defense, we'll be fine. It's the shoe is on the other foot, and it's a bit of a role reversal for me. I have zero confidence in this defense's ability to get it done right now. Excuse me. That's where I'm at with mine. If you ask me, where does my confidence lie right now, I'll tell you it's with the offense. And I could be wrong, and that confidence could be misplaced, and it could still be the defense being the driving force and the catalyst. But with all the moves that have been made, with all the talent that exists on the offensive side of the football, I think this offense is going to be up to modern times now. It feels like we've been stuck in the 2000s and 90s with the way we've been scoring the football. I think that's about to change this year. We're about to catch up with the rest of the league and have the ability to score 30 in any given game, where it felt like if we scored 30, we had an out-of-body experience. I'm scared about this defense. I wouldn't be shocked if Trevor Lawrence and that Jacksonville Jaguars revamped offense comes and shreds us in week 1 and we got to win a 38-35 shootout. I wouldn't be shocked by that shit because this defense doesn't instill confidence in me. I'm not confident in Jack Del Rio's ability to get the most out of our defensive unit. And they haven't shown me since 2020 a mean streak to where they can dominate a game, take over that game, and win us a game like they did in 2020. We didn't see that at all last year. Not a single time did the defense raise up and say, hey, offense, you take the day off. We got this one. I got this. They ain't done that since 2020. Hell, they ain't done that since the San Francisco 49ers game in 2020. We ain't seen that. We didn't see it at all last season. If we won games last year, it was either because of the offense or because the other team that we were playing was terrible on offense, not because our defense was dominant. Russell Wilson and the Seahawks scored 15 points. There were receivers running wide ass open the entire night, and Russ was missing those boys. We got by that game by the damn slightest of margins. If Russell Wilson was healthy and not 2 games removed from pinky surgery or thumb surgery or whatever the hell it was, or I think it was index finger or whatever, he would have carved our ass in that game. Dudes were running open. At the end of the day, if this defense is any good, we got a chance to be special this year. That's kind of where I'm at with mine. But we've had some good teams, offensively especially, and I was talking about 99. That team could have won a Super Bowl. They were good enough. We had some injuries late in that season. Brad Johnson wasn't himself. He had sustained a neck injury, and he wasn't the guy that threw for 4,000 yards. We had 2,000-yard receivers. We had a 1,400-yard rushing running back in Stephen Davis. That was a good team in 99. That was a good defense in 99. 2005, that team was capable. I don't know about winning the Super Bowl, but the Seattle Seahawks went to the Super Bowl, and we lost to them, and we could have beaten them, and we might have been – our offense was putrid that year, but our defense was better than anybody else's left in the playoffs. We could have gone to the Super Bowl. I don't know if we would have beaten everyone that it would have taken to get to the Super Bowl that year. And we didn't score any points offensively in the wild card weekend game that we won the week before against Tampa. Like, we weren't going to beat anybody seriously with the offense that we were putting on the field. But I digress. At the end of the day, We've had some solid football teams. This roster offensively is up there, with some of the better offenses we put on the field in recent memory. But we can sit here and talk about what they look like on paper. None of that matters. What matters is what they do in between the white lines, starting in September all the way through January. We're hoping into February. And if they take care of business, then we can start talking about how good of a roster this is. On paper, it looks good. Paper never won a Super Bowl. We know that firsthand here in Washington. Paper's never won a Super Bowl. Johnny Boy 26, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Johnny Boy 26 writes, top 10 offense, thoughts? It could be. Absolutely. I'm not a top 10 guy. We've talked about this defense being top 10, top 5 for years, and I was like, I don't know about that. This offense has a chance to be top 10. It has a chance to be that good. But again, they got to go out and do it. They got to go out and do it. Wentz has got to be who we think he is and then some. Scott Turner's got to, be the best version of himself. We got to stay relatively healthy. The offensive line has to, really be, intact for the most part of the season, the better part of the season. And the guys that we brought in from Carolina, or ex-Panthers, they have to, do their job and do it at the levels that they're capable of doing it at. And I have no doubts about that with Masco getting his hands on these guys once again. I think they're going to play the kind of football that allowed them to get the kind of money that they've made throughout the course of their career. So I feel good about all of the, situations that are surrounding this team leading into training camp. We'll see how camp goes. And then I'll tell you if the excitement level is still at a high going into the season, So yes, this offense has the ability to maybe be a top 10 offense, but they got to go out and do it. And really, it all hinges on the quarterback position. If Carson Wentz is mediocre at best, we're going to be, a mediocre offense at best. If Carson Wentz is firing BBs and darts and using his legs to escape trouble, extend plays, and do some of that wizardry that we saw him do against us for many years to start his career, then yeah, this has a chance to be a top 10 offense for sure. Rob Yu, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, Rob Yu, writes, Lou, Rob says they are finally learning. Reward your own and get this thing moving in the right direction. Our number one wide receiver deserves it. Absolutely. Couldn't have said it any better myself. That's since Ron has gotten here, the guys that have supposed to have been paid have gotten paid. Period. End of discussion. There's nothing else to talk about. There hasn't been one guy that has gone and left in free agency that we said, oh, man, what are they doing? The one guy we said that about was Ronald Darby. He immediately had a hamstring injury last year and played in less than half of the games for the Denver Broncos. So his 1 year in Washington was an outlier where he stayed healthy for all 16 games. That's not Ronald Darby. That wasn't him in Buffalo. That wasn't him in Philadelphia. And it wasn't him in Denver last year. The 1 year where he was playing for a contract, he stayed healthy. We've seen that happen a bunch, where a guy has a crazy season in a contract year, and then he goes back to being what he was before that. And that's what Ronald Darby did last year. As soon as he got that 3-year, $30 million deal, he pulled a hamstring. So that was the one guy we said, oh, what are you doing? You should have held on to Ronald Darby. He wouldn't have played half of the season last year. So, yeah, we're moving in the right direction for sure. B-Ball God, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, B-Ball God, writes, do you believe Wentz is best new addition in the division? Yeah, I do. And I can say that as quickly as I just did, because what position is more important than quarterback? There isn't one. The only thing that could supersede a quarterback is a head coach. And nobody in the division changed coaches except the Giants. And even though that's a really good coach that we don't know if he's a good head coach. We know he's a good offensive mind. But even with that said, he's got Daniel Jones. There's only so much confidence that instills in anybody, including Giants fans. So everybody else has the same head coach. Everybody else has the same quarterback in the division, except us. So, with that said, yeah, he's the most important acquisition in the division, and it's not even close. Let's see. Rob U, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, Rob U, who writes, all of pressure, but come on, Wentz. A lot of pressure, he says, but come on, Wentz. Yeah, I mean, pressure either busts pipes or as a wise man once said, produces diamonds. We'll see what the end result is for Carson Wentz. There's a lot of pressure on him. I told you, I subscribe to the notion that this is his last chance to solidify himself as a starter in the league. I don't think anybody will be willing to say Carson Wentz is our week 1 starter with an abundance of confidence and not having a young guy behind him waiting in the wings in the shadows. This is his last opportunity to be the unquestioned starter and leader of a football team, and he's got to take advantage of it. And he may not want to admit that. He even, he did when it was brought to his doorstep, the comments Troy Aikman made. He said, look, I don't have enough mental capacity and space to worry about stuff like that. I'm just going to go out here and, put my best foot forward each and every single day and try to be the best version of myself every single day and get better every day and see where, everything kind of lands after that. And that's a good statement. That's the way to approach it. Don't put that extra pressure on yourself. It doesn't do yourself any good unless you're someone that performs well under pressure. Don't put that kind of pressure on yourself. It's unnecessary. So let's see. Let's see. Got another super chat here. This one is from RVA Point of Views. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, F it, Lou. Celebrate. You know what it is. I don't have to tell you. You already know what it is. Celebrate. Okay? We got our guy back for the long haul. We ready. All right? Harry's back like cook crack. And we ready to destroy the rest of the league offensively because of it. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my guy. Big Money Sonny writes, Lou, you might be up there for a full 8 hours. Be prepared, brother. As always, appreciate what you do for us. Let's effing go. Oh, happy days. Oh, happy days. Oh, yeah. This isn't going to be an 8-hour stream. However, it is happy day. It is a happy day. I'm glad it got done in the month of June. I'm glad we're able to put some resolution to this situation and, prepare ourselves for a drama-free training camp. That was going to be the $1 million question. When is Terry getting his deal? And as we got closer to camp, you would have gotten more and more antsy. Now you don't have to worry about any of that. Feeling good. Alex, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Skipped over my super before Sonny's Wentz stat line. Let's see if I can find that. Let's see. Let's go back and see if I can track that one down. I see this one before Big Money Sonny's. We already answered that one, though. I haven't seen one about a stat line, but doesn't mean I didn't miss it. So we're going to go back and see if I can track that one down. According to my screen, I didn't miss your super chat. So I don't know if you didn't send it. You think you did and you didn't. I'm not calling you a liar. If you say you sent it, you sent it. But I don't see it. I've read one from you already, but it didn't have anything to do with Wentz's stat line. But you did talk about guys liking him in the locker room, and we addressed that already. So let's see. Hold on. Anyway. Yeah. I don't see anything. Maybe I'm tripping. Anyway, I digress. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see the super chat, Alex. I don't see it, man. I don't see it at all. Let's see if it's on this other screen. Let's see. Yeah, that's the only one I see from you up until this one. This is your second one. Got a couple of members that I want to shout out. Rob, you've been a member for 11 months. Thank you for your patronage. Says the thought of Diami complimenting the top three is very exciting. That it is. And that's where he's supposed to be, as the fourth option. Last year, that man was our number 2 option. That was never supposed to be the case. I felt the same way about AGG when we drafted him. He was never supposed to be number 2 behind Terry. And yet that's where he ended up. Same thing with Diami last year. He was never supposed to be the number 2 receiver behind Terry last year. At best, number 3. And with the injury to Curtis Samuel, he ended up being number 2, and that was not good. Not good. Viscount, thank you for being a member of the MOBB for 10 months. Right? Payne and Cole next. What do you think, Lou? We'll see. I feel really good about Cole getting his. Not so confident in Payne getting his, but that doesn't mean Payne won't get his. I'm just not super confident that he will get his. So, we'll see. Anyway, I digress. Once again, sorry about that, Alex. I don't see that super chat about Wentz's stat line. Let's see. Got another new member of the MOBB. My guy, 1,800 shots. Stand up. You are officially the newest member of the MOBB. Glad to have you. I don't know if you taking 1,800 shots, bop, 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 or if you taking 1,800 shots. But tonight is the night where you take shots. So, Mob, you know what to do. Shots for everybody. 1,800s. Y'all heard the man. Show him some love. Cheers. And welcome to the squad. 1,800 shots. All right. Let's see. Got another super chat. This one is from HTTR for Life. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, we sweeping the Eagles, splitting with the Cowboys. If that also comes along with a sweep of the Giants, sign me up. Sign me up. In order to win the division, I've said this already, you've got to go no worse than 6-2 against the AFC South and the NFC North. Okay, got to go 6-2. You can afford to drop 2 games of the 8. Maybe Green Bay in the NFC North, and maybe Tennessee or Indy. You can't 5-3 at a bare minimum if you want to drop 2 to Tennessee and Indy or something like that, or Minnesota and Green Bay, and then 1 to Indianapolis or Tennessee. But you can't go any worse than 5-3. Really, you need to be 6-2. And then I think in order to win the division, that's 6 wins. You need another 4 or 5 coming from this division. That puts you at 10 wins. If you go 6-2 against those two divisions and then 4-2 in the division, that's 10 wins right there. You go 6-2 and then you get a 5-1 spot in the division. That's 11 wins right there. You go 5-3 against the AFC South and the NFC North, and then you go 5-1 in the division. That's 10 wins right there. Either way, you have to dominate those two portions of your schedule in order to have a realistic shot at winning the division. And again, in order to win your division, it starts with dominating inside the division. And unlike last year, where we didn't get an opportunity to do that until the back end of the schedule, we're going to have an immediate opportunity to get off to a good start with a home game against the Eagles in week 3 and a roadie against Dallas in week 4. Got to take advantage of those. Got to take advantage of, especially the one against the Eagles at home. Especially the one against the Eagles at home. Billy Mack says, but when he leave, we be talking again. I said, feel like Dak Prescott has mind control over us. He said, but when he leave, we be talking again. You're right. Because every time we see some other bum-ass Cowboys quarterback, we whoop their ass. Just when he's there, we just, like Debo, we just shut up. Anyway, I digress. Hopefully we can, hopefully this is our time to be like Craig at the end of the movie and stand up to Dak Prescott's ass. Sick of this shit. Let's see. Alex, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Alex writes, I think the Howie concussion thing is just a rumor. I can't confirm nor deny that. It could be just a rumor. Where I read it from was not a credible source. So I can't say that it's the gospel, but everything about Wentz has been a rumor. Nothing can be 100% authenticated. Now, again, I think some of that stuff he's actually hasn't admitted to, but he's acknowledged that a lot of things happened that he had his, hand in. And so we don't know which parts. We don't know exactly what's true and what's not true. So everything is a rumor as far as we're concerned. Nothing has been, authenticated, but you choose to believe what you want to believe, right? That's like religion. You choose to believe what you want to believe. And same thing with rumors. You choose to believe what you want to believe, and it helps you formulate an opinion of a guy. Somebody can tell you 5 things about a dude. 3 of them are good, 2 of them are bad. Depending on what you decide to believe, you might think the guy's a really good dude. He's just getting a bad rap, or you think the guy's an asshole. He needs to get out of here. Just what do you decide to believe? What's more plausible for you? So we'll see. Thank you for the super chat, Alex, as always. HTTR for life. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, I think people forget we have 3 legit running backs. Again, we fortified the running back room with the Brian Robinson selection. We had Antonio Gibson already. We brought back J.D. McKissick, thank God. And our running back room is as good as I can remember. I said the same thing about the receiver position. I feel the same way about the running back position. It's as good of a position, skill group as I can remember this team having. I can't remember us having 3 backs that we feel really good about, all on the same team at the same time. I'm trying to think of the last time we had, a group of running backs this good, because even when Alfred Morris was here and he was good, he wasn't great. We loved Alfred's production, but he was an average back that was playing in a great system for his skill set. We never had any great backs here. Throughout, literally, you have to go to Portis and Liddell Betts. And I don't think there was a third back on that team that you felt good about. You could go back to Steven Davis and Skip Hicks. But again, there wasn't a third back you felt really good about. There were 2 guys. So, I think Skip Hicks, and there was also Larry Centers in 99. That might have been the last time we had 3 really quality backs on the roster, but this feels better than that. So Yeah. I don't, again, people are going to forget about the running back position because we talk so much about receiver and we talk so much about Carson Wentz. And yeah, we're not a run first football team. We're not a run heavy team. That's not our MO, but we had a 1,000-yard rusher. And I get it. 17 games, 1,000 yards. First of all, 1,000 yards wasn't all that big of an accomplishment in a 16 game season. Now you extended out an extra game. 1,000 yards isn't that big of a deal. Okay. I think the needle needs to be pushed up to like 1,200 yards. That's the new 1,000 now. But Gibby was good last year. You know, he had his moments. He also had his moments where he put the ball on the carpet, put the church's money on the floor. And that's part of the reason they brought Brian Robinson in here. So I feel good about our running back situation, just as good about the running backs as I do the wide receivers. So, again, that's why I told you this roster feels, at least on the offensive side, feels like one of the best we've had in recent memory. Let's see. Got another super chat here. I think we have another super chat. And we do. Got another super chat here from Merle Garrett. Thank you for the super chat, Merle. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Merle, writes, Wentz will have an MVP season. This is the best crop of receivers he's ever played with. Again, I can't co-sign that. I can't put my John Hancock on that. But I can say that I hope you're right. I cannot endorse that because I'm not all in. But that's a statement you make when you're all in. I'm not all in. But I'm invested, okay? I have $100,000 that I can invest in stock, and I put 50,000 in Carson Wentz. I'm not sure, so I'm going to keep the other 50 in my pocket, but I've invested 50. I've invested quite a bit, okay? That's not chump change. All right, I'm invested in Carson Wentz's success here, but I need to see return on investment first before I go all in. Now, the price will go up, okay? You better get in now while it's cheap, okay? Get in now while you can buy a bunch of stock before the price skyrockets when he's playing well. But I'm willing to pay that price. If he's worth it, I'm willing to pay the price. But you know I can't do that. Thank you for the super chat, Merle Garrett. JP, my guy, John Perez, thank you for the super chat. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, JP. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, honestly thought Terry's deal would be 4 or 5 years. And I talked about why it might. I knew it wasn't going to be 5. 5 was too much for his age. But I told you I could see it being 4 or 3 years because of his age. Terry's going to be 27 in the upcoming season. And so you don't want to sign a 5-year deal that would put you at age 32 going on 33. You know what I'm saying? When that deal expires. You want to be able to get another bite at the apple. If you're Terry, you want that deal to expire, you know, and be looking for new money when you're 30 going on 31, which is what you'll be doing. 3 years from now, when he's in the last year of his going into the last year, he'll be looking for a new contract again, and he'll be 30, and he'll get another contract if he's continuing to play the type of football we know he's capable of. He'll get another contract. 30 is not old for a wide receiver. Okay, you still have good football left in you when you're 30 years old. Okay, so he can get another contract here in Washington if he's still playing the kind of football that we know he's capable of. So it was a good deal for Terry, and it makes a lot of sense that he signed a three-year extension because he wants another bite at the apple. Let's see. Mike Easton, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Mike Easton, writes, our offense will make our defense better. I hope so. The theory is if the offense is out there balling and they're possessing the football, it keeps the defense off the field, you protect them, they're more fresh, they're able to go out, make plays and not be tired. All of that stuff makes sense. It's all good theory, all right, and good logic in theory. However, again, we'll see, okay? We'll see. Because there were times last year where our offense was playing at a very high level, for instance, against Atlanta, and the defense was getting shredded anyway, okay? That Giants game, the offense literally, I don't think we had a single punt in the first half of the game and the defense literally couldn't get a stop. And the only thing that was stopping the Giants was self-inflicted wounds. We couldn't get a stop. So I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Because I might have said that wrong. We might not have punted the entire second half against the Giants, and they still were moving the football on our ass and made it tough on us. So at the end of the day, I hope the defense is improved, and I don't care how it comes, whether it's because the offense is improved and it takes some of the pressure off of the defense, or if they got like, they're going to be games where the offense just doesn't have their fastball, and we need the defense to step up. Can the defense step up in those moments? Okay, so we had to get into a shootout with somebody. Okay, we got into a shootout with Dallas, but we're up 4 with 1:37 left. Can the defense get the damn stop, preserve the 4-point victory, and win the game? I don't know. Only one way to find out. But I hope you're right. In theory, if the offense is better, it could create a situation and an environment where the defense is better. But again, the offense has to be better first, and then the defense has to do its part. So we'll see. Let's see. Got another super chat here. But before we get to that, we got another new member of the MOBB. Coop, stand up. You are officially the newest member of the MOBB. Mob, you know what to do. Open those arms as wide, like Stretch Armstrong. Wrap them around Coop. Show him some love. Show him what it's like to be a member of the MOBB. Coop, welcome to the squad. Glad to have you. All right. Y'all know what it is. 1/6 Devil Doc. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for double up. 1/6 Devil Doc, who writes, can't see us signing Collins unless he signs as a linebacker. I don't see them re-signing Landon Collins unless there's an injury. I think they feel good about what they have. I think that he was not happy being, called a linebacker last year. He was adamant that he's a safety. The way they want to utilize him is essentially as a linebacker. And if he can't get on board with that, whether you're a linebacker or safety, who gives a shit? It's semantics. Linebacker, safety, who gives a shit? If you're excelling in that role, why does it matter? But in any event, he's still looking for work. It's Landon Collins. He'll get work. Somebody will sign him before the season starts. I firmly believe that. Will it be us? Could be. Don't think it will be, but it could be, So anyway, we'll see. Miggy, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Miggy, writes, why people stress 2017 Wentz? This offense built for Yak. Well, it's not just about 2017 Wentz. It's 2018 Wentz. It's 2019 Wentz. Okay. It's Wentz playing at a high level, high enough to elevate this offense and take us to heights that we haven't seen since 2012 and 1999 and 1991. So, it's the reason we keep bringing up 2017 Wentz is because the man was playing at an MVP-like level and was on a crash course to become the league MVP had he not gotten injured. It would have been hard for him not to have been league MVP that year had he remained healthy. So that's why we keep bringing up 2017 with Carson Wentz. But as far as this offense is concerned and it being built for Yak, getting the ball in the hands of Jahan Dotson and Curtis Samuel immediately makes a ton of sense. But you know what also makes a lot of sense? Being able to stretch the football field vertically with those same two guys and adding Terry and De'Ami Brown into the mix is vertical threats as well. So, the ability to stretch the football field vertically, get those chunk plays that this offense has really been missing out on the last 4 or 5 years is the reason why we keep referencing 17 Wentz and 18 and 19 and all of the things that he brings to the table. Let's see. Slightly less fat American. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Writes. So we go into the Super Bowl now. That is not what I said. You've never heard the words Super Bowl and Commanders uttered in the same sentence. And I am not going to utter those words again. Got to crawl before you can walk. All right. Got to crawl before you can walk. Got to walk before you can run. And right now we're at the crawling stage. We put the pieces in place to have a chance to have a great season. Now the walking is during the regular season. You want to talk the talk. Now you got to walk the walk. That's what the regular season is. All right. Puts you in a position to play bonus football. All right. To go to the dance, and when they shut the doors and lock it, to be inside. All right. With a ticket. And then, and only then, after you've talked that talk and walked that walk during the regular season, you've crawled, setting the stage for having a good season. You've walked during the regular season. Now we can start running towards a Super Bowl. Then we can start uttering Super Bowl and having that conversation. We ain't there yet. So hell no. We ain't talking about no damn Super Bowl. Hell no. Let's see. Make sure that we didn't skip over a super here. And we didn't. So we got another super chat here. This one is from Dejon Bell. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, Dejon Bell, who writes, Lou, I'm back. I got shot 4 times. Lucky to be here. LTN for life. First of all, time out. Are you playing with me right now? Are you serious? Like, don't play like that. If you're serious, then first of all, what the hell, bro? Second of all, thank God you're okay. Third of all, you have a higher calling. You're supposed to be here. You get shot 4 times and you don't die. That means you're supposed to be here. God is not finished with you. There is something that you're here left to do. Take advantage of that opportunity. But again, I don't know if you bullshitting me or not. But if you're not, God has shown you some favor and some mercy, bro. And he's telling you, you got a higher purpose here. Take advantage. And also, I don't know how the hell you managed to put yourself in a position, or you could have been in the wrong place, wrong time. It happens all the time where you got nothing to do with a situation and you get popped. Bullets don't have a name on them, okay? This is why I tell people, make sure you're where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there, all right? Minimize the opportunities for some shit like that to take place. That said, if you were doing some shit that you had no business doing, or you're living a lifestyle that puts you in a position to have something like that happen, now's the time to make that change, bro. Now's the time. Either way, I don't know if you're serious or not. I'm just glad we're here talking. Period. End of discussion. Whether you are bullshitting me, you're pulling my leg, or you're dead ass, I'm just glad we're here having this conversation. Anyway, says LTN for life, but about time for Terry now. I can relax till camp. Amen to that. Amen to that. And that's why this needed to be done sooner rather than later. And I didn't expect June. I didn't. I told you guys this is going to get done, a week before training camp. I told you when we heard about the talks intensifying, I said, that means they're far apart, but that means they got a lot closer because Ron expedited the process a bit. I didn't know he was going to move it up to the point where we got this thing done before the end of June. That was awesome. That was awesome. So anyway, thank you for the super chat, Dejon Bell. Let's see. Got another super chat here, and it is from my guy, Big Money Sonny. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you as always, Big Money Sonny, who writes, finished work, but got to bounce for some physical therapy, Lou. get that done, man. Get that done. Excuse me. He says, I have a feeling you'll still be on when I'm done, but if not, I hope to see you with everyone else at the after party. Appreciate you, Lou. You know what it is. And thank you once again for all that you do here on the Louie T Network. Greatly appreciate you, Big Money Sonny. Take care of that physical therapy, my man. Really do appreciate you. Let's see. Got another super chat here. This one is from Nathan Petty. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, Nathan, who writes, since Ron, 20, swept Eagles, Cowboys, swept by Giants. 21, swept Giants, swept by Eagles and Cowboys. Haven't split yet. Important or interesting? It's interesting. It's not important, but I've talked about this before. We haven't split with anyone, as you just, so eloquently brought up. We haven't split with anyone since Ron got here. It's all or nothing. So we keep talking about split. At some point, just like no one's won the division 2 years in a row, at some point that shit's going to be, broken, and someone's going to win the division 2 years in a row. At some point, he's going to split with one of these teams in the division. He's not going to keep either sweeping or getting swept. I'd like to do the sweeping. I got a broom and a dustpan. I'm ready. But, you know how it goes, man. That's why it's family business. You never know what's going to happen. So at some point, that's got to change. I would much rather be closer to the 2020 version of the sweeps, where you sweep two teams and get swept by one, versus the 2021 where you get swept by two teams and only sweep one. And so you got to be 4-2 at a bare minimum if you're really trying to make some serious hay within the division and, throw your name in the playoff hat. If you're really serious, you can't afford to go 3-3 or 2-4 or anything like that. So it is more interesting than important, but it's important from this sense that since he's gotten here, he's had trouble with at least one team. And when you're in divisional play, when you're conducting family business, these teams know you, you know them, and these games count for more. The emphasis is put on these games. And so not being able to at least split with the Giants 2 years ago, or not being able to split with Philadelphia or Dallas. And again, there were extenuating circumstances last year as to why those games were a lot tougher on us. It doesn't matter. We didn't get it done. And we got embarrassed by the Cowboys the second time. And in the first game, I thought they were the ones that kind of started us on that downslide. So we got to play better in the division. We got to play better. But I think it's more interesting than important, but something to keep an eye on. If we leave out of this season and we're talking about the same thing, maybe there's a little bit of credence to that. Okay. Maybe it's a little bit more important than we thought, but right now I think it's just interesting, to say the least. Anyway, I digress. That is the final super chat. And so I'm excited. Terry gets his deal once again, 3-year, $71 million extension, $23.6 million, 6.7 if you're being exact, but $23.6 million for Terry McLaurin on AVV. But the real story here is the amount of money he's getting upon signing, $28 million signing bonus, the richest in NFL history for a wide receiver. 76% of his extension is brand new guaranteed money, or brand new money, I should say, which is huge for Terry. Again, a guy that was a third-round pick who has never really made tremendous money in his career. That has all changed now with this deal. So happy to have Terry back in the fold. One less thing we've got to worry about heading into training camp. This is a big training camp. This is an exciting training camp that we're heading into. A lot of things pointing upwards. This was one thing that was kind of keeping the fan base somewhat subdued. As I've seen today with a lot of you really excited, willing to drink the Kool-Aid, willing to go to 12 wins now because Terry's back. This means a lot to the fan base. And it meant a lot to this organization, which is why I knew it was going to get done. It's finished. The deal is done and the deed is done. And now 17 is back in the fold. And I think that bodes well for this offense. But more importantly, it speaks trouble in volumes to the rest of the league loudly that this team has a chance to be dangerous. Could be scary hours, man. Very, very spooky, like the shit you see in the movie. We'll see what happens, but our guy's back. 17's back in the fold, back like cook crack, and we wouldn't have it any other way. So, got a super chat that'll take us out of here. CJ Shoots Photo. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, CJ Shoots Photo, writes, Yo, Lou, hope all is good. Can't wait to see how this deal is structured. What's left in the cap tank? Does this open the door for a linebacker to sign? I would imagine that $28 million that he's getting as a signing bonus is proof that the first year of this deal is going to be very minimal. Okay, his base salary is going to be fart. Why? Because he's got $28 million that he signed on the dotted line and got upon signing. So his base salary doesn't have to be very much. His base salary might be $1.4 million this year. You know, and then you start to see that spike next year when we'll have more cap space in the year after that, right? But I think the money is going to be very minuscule this year. It's going to allow us to still have flexibility to sign, you know, a player or two if need be. So I'll be anxious to see, you know, what the structure of the deal is as well. But at the end of the day, I think they're smart enough to know what they have to do. And I think they're going to structure. That's why the $28 million is so important, because it allows them to minimize the amount of money he makes from a base standpoint in his first year. So anyway, I digress. Thank you for the super chat, CJ Shoots Photo. With that said, I am a Washington fan, etched in burgundy and gold. My Washington spirit will never die. Washington spirit will never fold. Until we meet again, post up and take command. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I mean, how could you not celebrate? Terry's back. Like cook crack on a 3-year extension. The gang's all back. We all ready, locked and loaded. We got guns and shit. And we actually got a quarterback that knows how to use them. Feels good, feels good. Till next time, I'll see you guys Thursday night live. I told you, if something else happens and there's nothing else left, you'll see this face all up in your space. But I'll see you guys again Thursday night. We'll talk about everything that has transpired here and what it means. And we've talked about a lot of that today, but we'll talk at greater lengths about, you know, the season and how we feel and what this means. So, and we'll have all the details of the contract, so we'll be able to speak to that on Thursday night as well. But until then, you guys take care. As everyone in the comment section is telling you guys, go check out the Discord. The link is in the comment section with you guys. Check it out. I'm going to go check it out myself and see what everything is all about there. Look forward to chopping it up with you guys in the near future. But until then, if you haven't already done so, one more time on the way out, go ahead and hit the subscribe button for more great content. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And hit the like button, okay? Hit the like button if you haven't already done that as well. Until next time, I'm your man, Louie T, signing off. God bless and good night.
LouieTeeNetwork.